Boys and girls, Alex back again. I've actually come up with something not so much new as much as different. A while back I think I made a video about this hex cube, and I'll put a link down to it in the comments so you can refer to it if you want to. However, lately I've been getting into miniaturization to give it away for free, and I found that I could quite easily make up this cube with a little bit of, oh by the way, I hope with a bit of luck you'll find that you'll be getting a lot of the pictures in the viewfinder. I put this little blue sticker on here. The only problem is it's blue. I should have made it a different colour because now I can't see the bloody thing, or barely. But anyway, I've made this miniature. This was made out of 4 layers of MDF laminated. This is a single layer. I shall go into the construction, and this is one of the few times I will go into a construction of how I made that. Now, to solve this puzzle, you can simply try and pull it apart, but if you do it the right way, as you can see, it'll come apart. But the simplest way to pull a puzzle is on a hard surface, just give it a spin and off it comes. And to put it back together again, which I might have shown, the whole secret is to get this wee little triangle in the middle here with all the pieces. Once you've got that triangle, they just slip together. Now the little one is sort of touch and go because I haven't got the luxury of getting in there, or big enough piece to polish it up. While I have polished 1 or 2 up that goes into my cabinet for permanent keeping, I'm not going to do it with all of them. However, some of them are quite loose, some of them are tight. With the loose, tight ones, you just have to manipulate, but with some of the loose ones, you can, by spinning and dropping, they should come apart. There you are. So, yeah, if you're lucky enough to get one of these, great. If you're not lucky, and at least this little one, you can actually put together by hand without having to put it onto a hard surface. Now, come on, slip together, and there you have it. There you are, cute little puzzle. Anyway, how it all starts off is I cut it out on the laser. As you can see, it's basically mass produced. You need 2 pieces. They're both the same shape, but I've got alignment holes. Oh, where are we? Here we go. The alignment holes. Sorry about this. It's easier to do it this way than move the camera. Or I'm too bloody lazy to do it the other way. Alignment holes. And the intention is, as I said, they're both the same shape, but you've got to offset them like that. That's why the alignment holes are in a different place. What I've also done to make my job easier, hang on, I'll get rid of this. We won't need it. Is I made up this little glue up jig. Where are we? Hang on. We'll put it down there. I can zoom in on it, for God's sake. That's why I bought this. I'm doing it down here so I can actually zoom in on it a bit better. Alright. Hang on. Is that? Yep, that's what we've got. So what the intention is, that this piece, actually I might use a hard surface. Oh. I got a hard surface, so because when I press the dowels in, the dowels will go through the rubber, won't go through the hard surface. You get this little piece that fits in there, Now that has been sanded down, so that stands proud of it, so I can then make sure I've got a good contact. This one fits in there. Now it can slip in, however, because of the dowel alignment, it'll give it strength and hopefully it'll stop movement. Now I use 2mm dowels. However, the bastards are never 2mm. I can cut an accurate 2mm hole on the laser, but they're never accurate. They're weird. Maybe it's cheap toothpicks, but I have prepared a couple of pieces, because you need 3 pieces, 3 combinations to make up a puzzle. I've prepared enough. Now when I join them, I'll cut the dowels off and I'll use it on another piece, etc. But what I'll now do is I'll zip off and cut these dowels in half. Hang on, as you can see, there you are. That was bloody tight, so I'll have to, so they're all tight, and again the hand doesn't help, the left hand doesn't help. I don't want to push the ends, otherwise I'll bugger it up. I didn't want to do that, break the bloody thing. But doesn't matter, I'm only going to maybe make up 2, so it should be enough. But I will go off screen to cut these. Normally what I would do is I'd put that up there and get my flush saw and just chop that off. But for the sake of this exercise, I'll do it off camera. I won't throw that out. I might be able to use that as another one. I'll go off camera. See, I can now push that aside and cut that, and also I better go and get some super glue. Okay, I'll be back soon. Don't go away. Okay, I'm back with the bits and pieces. I've given you plenty of time to go and make yourself a cup of coffee, and maybe, gee, I've been gone long enough for you to even have a meal. But let's get started. First off, I get one of these little pieces, dabble. Normally I'd be sitting up in the office playing on the computer while I'm waiting for glue to dry. So this is not really the most comfortable angle for doing it. Make sure I've got enough glue inside those little pieces so that they will stick. This then, now hang on, I better get some tissue to wipe up the excess glue. As I said, everything upstairs was set up, because the last thing I want is to get glue into my little jig, otherwise I'll have to make up another one. Now the one good thing about these toothpicks, as opposed to when I normally use dowels, is the narrow tips, or the tips, lead straight into assembly. Push it down. Now what I actually do, hang on, I might go and get it. Jesus, everything was organised upstairs. And I'll grab me little donger. It's alright. I could have paused it, but hell, you had now time to go and finish that cup of tea or whatever you were making. Get that, slap that in between, hammer it down, make sure it's well seated. Then I can push it out from the bottom. Then I check it for squeeze out, make sure it's relatively flat, because if it isn't perfectly flat, you find it just won't while you can do it up quite reasonably, you can't undo it. And in fact, unfortunately, some of the people that get these puzzles will be able to eventually do it, even if they have to use the cheat sheet, but then unfortunately they won't be able to undo it because it's so bloody tight. And as I said, I can't really polish up the inside. Oh look, I could try, but I'll be absolutely honest with you, I'm just not prepared to take the time. Hang on, let's get one of these and one for the other piece. Slip it down. Now, as I said, with this bum hand of mine, and I've still got about 2 weeks to go before I see the neurologist, and let's just assume that at the moment that it is nerve damage and not something else. I've had my AstraZeneca second shot about 3 weeks ago, so it wasn't due to that. It could have been due to the first one, because I got it about 2 months after my first shot, though everybody seems to rule that out, any correlation. And I have had this type of issue in the past, but in the past it's only lasted about 2 or 3 days, and then it went away. Oh, the pain and the problems were just as intense, but after about 2 or 3 days it went away. Well, this has been with me now for 8 weeks. 2 months, and when you think about it, it's a bloody long time. Although then again, this is just a pain in the arm. I've been a pain in the arse to the missus for about 30 years, so I should sort of congratulate her. Okay. Now this will have hopefully the 3 of them. Oh, come on. There, push it out, and look, the dowels haven't come through all the way, but what I will do is I usually get some wood filler and fill those holes up just to make it look neat. Nothing else. Okay, there's my 3. Now, it's a flush cut. Unfortunately, to cut this, I've got to support it with my left hand, and while I've got fairly good strength lifting, pushing, I've got very little strength pushing out that way. And to hold this, that's push, well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, and I've got to make sure I don't chop through my bloody fingers, because this saw is sharp. Well, there you go, I might get another one for that. Next one. Oh, come on. Oops, wasn't even close. Now if I don't cut them perfectly flush, come on, what I can do is on 180 grit, I just give it a quick polish. That'll just, where the dowel is loose, it'll give me a chance to put some filler into it, and when I take it over to do it on the Ross, that'll be 240 grit, which will really tidy it up. Put those aside. I should put my Kevlar gloves on. The only problem is that these pieces are too bloody small to really have the Kevlar glove on. Now, it's as simple as that. The puzzle's done. The proof is now going to be in the pudding. Now again, as I might have mentioned before, the whole secret is make sure your ducks are in a row. They're all faced the same way. You'll notice that if you look at it as like a number 7, that's facing the wrong way. Have it facing the right way. Then you build your little triangle. Sort of that piece goes over that and that piece goes under that. When you've got your triangle, oops, come on you little beastie, that goes there, oh, nearly had the triangle, but you'll know it when you get your triangle, because as soon as you get it, you then just need to squeeze and voila, it's together. But now it's a question of trying to get it apart. No. So this is one of those that'll have to be coaxed. Do it a few times and it will loosen up. Now what I normally, oh there you are, popped out. Now I'll just take this off camera. Look, I'm just going to buff this on a Ross, upside down Ross, spinning around, put it on, and just make sure I don't put my thumb on it because it's just recovering now. But as you're sanding, the thumb seems to touch the Ross. And you don't realise that you've been sanding away flesh till about 10 minutes after, when there's blood everywhere and then it starts to hurt. Anyway, as I said, off to the Ross. Just realised before I go and Ross it, I better go and body fill some of these. Normally I'd do them, shit, wrong glasses. Actually that's wrong too, because what I normally do is I assemble the little buggers first. Hang on, ah, there you are. Haven't got the, now, shit, goes to show, you know, bugger. I don't know how to do it from the flip side. It's funny, it should be the same, or, well, when I say the same, mirror image, but I've never done it. So, oh come on, thickhead, goes there, that goes there, it goes in there, and it should slip together. Yeah, this side, God, it's hard to make sure it's in the viewfinder you can see what I'm doing without checking, being able to see. Maybe if I rigged some, I know I had a camera that I could rig to the laptop and I could see in the laptop what I'm viewing, but oh look, I'm sure there are ways of doing that, but stuffed if I know how. Anyway, that's ready. That should only take a few minutes to dry, only because there's just so little in it. Then I'll zip it over to the Ross like it. It'll actually polish this side up just a little bit more, you know, it'll get rid of the burn marks, the char marks and all that. But, yeah, well, put that aside. As I said, I'll be back when that's ready and we'll continue. Here we are, back again, fresh off the rot. I didn't put you through the bit of me trying to open this up. It was a pain. It will, as I said, come good once you've done it up a few times. In the meantime, I've actually glued up another one. For all it's worth, interesting story. When I was making pens, I used to buy a shitload of this glue whenever it was on special. Normally it's about $2.50 for 7 little tubes like that. But often in hardware stores, you might get these on sale where the 7 is for $1. And geez, I built up a big bucket full because I used it a lot when I was making pens to do CA finishes, because I'd put about 20 or so coats of CA on it. Then when I moved to Churchill, and probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I started using it, and I found it was virtually like water, and found out that super glue has a shelf life. However, one of the things I found was good super glue seems to have a shelf life. This thing I'm saying is probably made in bloody China, and it's so dumb it's forgot that it's got a shelf life, and it still works like a charm. As I said, my $20 bottles, and they're not much bigger than this, of good super glue just goes off in a matter of a year, maybe 2 years. Well, who knows how long it's been on the shelf, but this thing seems to last forever. Anyway, I'm ranting. What the story of this is, it's finished. I'll separate, and as always, here we are with the instructions. There's a picture there of what the puzzle should look like, and over the back, hopefully solutions that'll show you how to put it together. They're only a diagram, and if you can't put it together tough, I really don't give a shit, because you got it for free anyway, so you haven't lost much. As I said, the hardest part of all this is these fucking bags. I don't know why the hell. Actually, I might be able to use a smaller one, don't know. I probably could have used a smaller bag for this. In fact, I might, but for the sake of the exercise, I'll put that in there. Oh, come on. Now, you probably didn't see much of that bullshit. There it is, ready to be given away as a freebie. Oops. There we have it. And that's it, boys and girls. Until probably the next puzzle. I've got quite, as you can see, a few more. And after that, I don't think I'll be making any more. Look, they're not a bad little puzzle. Even glue up while I'm reading my email or working on the computer is not an issue. It's just a pain in the ass if you just slightly misalign it and it doesn't come apart easy as that. And that's my biggest problem, is just having to pull them apart. And there you are. Oh, look at that. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, boys and girls, hooroo, keep safe.